Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It is Friday, May 5th, 2023. Here's what's happening today in America. Trump makes a bold claim. Half of Americans are worried about this. The supermajority states and a whole new debate format. That's all coming up. And then Bill will be here with your message of the day. But first, the Kremlin now blames the United States for that drone attack on the Kremlin. Our Pentagon spokesperson says, I can assure you that there was no involvement by the United States. Whatever it was, it did not involve us. I mention this because Trump said this on Sky News in England, and I don't think he's wrong.
If I were president, and I say this, I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours. I know Zelensky well. I know Putin well. I would get that ended in a period of 24 hours.
You can break that deal.
100%. It would be easy.
As more banks fail, 19% of Americans are very worried about the safety of their money, and 29% are moderately worried. So it's 48% of Americans are somewhat worried about their money. That's around the same as the 2008 financial crisis. Now, this survey from Pew was done after Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank collapsed, but before First Republic Bank was taken over by JP Morgan. I imagine as more banks fail, more people would be worried. The Financial Times is now reporting that Western Alliance Bank and Pacific Western Bank are exploring a sale. The chair of the Fed says that the U.S. banking system is sound and resilient. North Carolina has advanced a bill in their state Senate, sending it now to the governor that would ban abortion after 12 weeks. Current law is 20 weeks. The thing is, the governor is a Democrat, and he says he will veto this extreme legislation. But the Republicans have a veto-proof majority in both their state House and Senate. I live in California. We have a Democrat supermajority. Dems can do whatever they want. This supermajority, one way or the other, is shockingly common. There are 20 states that have a Republican supermajority and 9 states that have a Democrat supermajority. Isn't that amazing? A majority of the states have a supermajority in the state legislature. Now, what's really interesting is there's one state where the Democrats have a supermajority in the legislature, but a Republican governor. It's Vermont. And there's 4 states that have a Republican supermajority, but a Democratic governor. How's that work? Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, and North Carolina. And finally, rumor has it that Tucker Carlson wants to host his own GOP candidate forum and take the debates away from the death grip of the lamestream media. I think the debate formats are completely worthless, need to be thrown away years ago. But what do we replace it with? Would you watch a forum with a completely different format, moderated by Tucker? Bill O'Reilly with your message of the day. Next.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention veterans, active duty military, civilians, and contractors. If you were issued earplugs between 1999 and 2015 and were diagnosed with hearing loss or ringing in the ears, you may be entitled to compensation. The manufacturer of these military earplugs recently paid $9.1 million to resolve claims that their earplugs were defective, potentially exposing service members to damaging sound levels that could have resulted in hearing loss or tinnitus. If you or a loved one were issued earplugs and were diagnosed with tinnitus or hearing loss, don't wait. You fought for this country, and our attorneys want to fight for you. Call 800-687-1936 now for a free legal consultation and to see if you may be eligible to file a claim. Time restrictions may apply, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. So call 800-687-1936 now. Again, 800-687-1936. That's 800-687-1936.
Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Friday, the madness we are seeing in our country will only subside if traditional Americans fight against it. Woke and progressive politics are hurting all of us. Here are some destructive things that have taken root under the most radical left-wing administration in history. Non-punishment of criminals, failure to enforce immigration law, the legalization and encouragement of marijuana and gambling, taxpayer-funded entitlements for Americans who refuse to even look for work, abortion up until birth for any reason, failure to provide due process in the court of public opinion, acceptance of degrading behavior in public places, attacks on Catholics and Jews, dishonest manipulation of the voting system, acceptance and funding of public schools that fail students, an allowance of gender-changing advantage in women's sports. Quite a list. And that's just a smidgen of the decline in American society. So, what we all have to do to keep a traditional America is speak up. Support those who are fighting the madness politically and in the media. And most essentially, for believers, pray for your country. America needs it. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Now let's go to the mail. Al says, I agree with you, O'Reilly, 100% about Mitch McConnell. He is the main reason I left the Republican Party. I am now a registered independent. Yeah, McConnell killed Kate's Law. Not a good guy. Craig Zenz, Westminster, Maryland. I want to ask you about Kate's Law. You said that Senator McConnell stopped it by coupling it with another proposal against sanctuary cities. You went further to say that he knew it would fail because Democrats would never vote against sanctuary cities. So far, you are 100% accurate, Craig. What I still don't understand is why would he want Kate's Law to fail in the first place? I don't know. Now, I've heard secondhand that he didn't want that punk O'Reilly, me, dictating senatorial policy. I don't know whether that's true or not. I was amused by it. Wayne, do not forget anarchy is by design. It is not so much immigration that is what the left wants. It's the chaos that ensues. Okay, I think you could make an argument for that. It's a philosophical argument, but I'm not going to reject it. All right, Angelo Di Donato, Macomb, Michigan. Bill, you mentioned that you have to be a U.S. citizen to vote, but when a viewer expressed concern about non-citizen voting, you are correct, but isn't it also true that some states are issuing licenses without any ID requirements and you use a license to register to vote? Yes, there are states like California making it easy for illegal aliens to vote by doing just what you said, but it's still a felony. They'll never prosecute it, but in a moment, something you might not know. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. Today is Cinco de Mayo. Now, contrary to popular belief, it is not Mexico's Independence Day. That's in September. The 5th of May actually marks a minor victory by the Mexican army over the French. Here is the story. During the 1860s, Mexico was in financial ruin. The country defaulted on dozens of loans with European banks. Britain and Spain agreed to new terms with the Mexicans, but France refused. Napoleon III deployed 6,000 troops to reclaim French money. Mexican President Benito Juarez dispatched a small group of soldiers to defend the city of Puebla. The battle lasted from daybreak to early evening. When the French finally retreated, they had lost more than 500 soldiers. Fewer than 100 Mexicans were killed. Napoleon then abandoned his dream of expanding the French Empire in North America and withdrew all forces back to Europe. In modern-day Mexico, Cinco de Mayo is regarded as a minor holiday. A few cities hold parades to commemorate the Battle of Puebla. But north of the border, the 5th of May is a big deal. The holiday was officially endorsed by President Roosevelt back in 1933, while promoting his so-called good neighbor policy with Latin America. Today, Cinco de Mayo has evolved into a general celebration of Mexican culture, mainly the food. Sales of nachos, tacos, and guacamole jumped 50%. Many folks in Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico take the day off. And here's something else you might not know. Mexican Americans currently make up 12% of the U.S. population. That's roughly 40 million people. To honor the Battle of the Puebla, there are more than 300 official Cinco de Mayo celebrations in 20 states. The holiday is celebrated by more people in the USA than it is in Mexico. Back after this. The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped 20%, and this year could be worse. You are right to be worried. So please call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I have been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.